Hello, my name is Angela, and I'm going to read you Hans Christian Andersen's story, The Snow Queen, and it's retold by Oakley Graham, and it's illustrated by Rosie Butcher. Now, if you've got this book, why don't you run and get it? And then you could come and snuggle down by me and we could read it together. Once upon a time, there lived a wicked troll king who built a magic mirror. The mirror made anything that was beautiful or good look ugly and bad in its reflection. The Troll King was very mean indeed. He travelled round the world and used the mirror to make people see the worst in everything and everyone. Not a very nice man. One day, the Troll King decided to make fun of the angels by showing them their reflection in his mirror. But as he tried to carry the mirror towards the heavens, he dropped it, and the mirror scattered into millions of tiny pieces. A strong wind picked up the magic mirror pieces and blew them all over the earth. Tiny fragments of mirror were blown into people's eyes, making them see the world as a foul and rotten place. And when a mirror fragment touched someone's heart, it froze them hard like ice, so they felt no longer any joy. Years later, pieces of the mirror fell in a small town where two best friends, Kai and Gerda, lived happily. As the friends read a book together, a splinter of broken mirror flew into Kai's eye, and another pierced his heart. In an instant, everything changed. Kai destroyed the roses he and Gerda had planted together, and he argued and taunted with her over the smallest things. Soon the friends rarely played together anymore. The next winter, Kai was playing alone in the snow when a giant carriage drew up beside him. The mysterious driver called Kai over, and he found himself staring into the piercing blue eyes of the Snow Queen. Kai was spellbound, and when the Snow Queen invited him to ride with her, he was powerless to resist. Kai was fearful and numb with cold. Seeing that he was afraid, the Snow Queen kissed him on the forehead. Immediately, the cold and all his memories disappeared, and the Snow Queen drove her carriage on and on towards her ice palace home. When Kai did not return home, the people of the town thought he must have drowned in the river, but his loyal friend Gerda felt sure that he was still alive somewhere. First, Gerda took her boat to the river and offered her new shoes as a gift if the river returned her friend. But the river did not have Kai, so Gerda continued with her search. She looked everywhere. Next, Gerda's search took her to an enchanted garden of eternal summer. The fairy who owned the garden was very lonely, so she cast a spell of magic to make Gerda forget everything and to stay with her. As the spell took hold, all the roses in the garden sank below the ground, so that Gerda would not be reminded of home and Kai. As time passed, Gerda could not understand why she felt so sad in such a beautiful place. Then one day, as she wept, one of her tears touched the ground and a rose bush sprang up. The flowers whispered to Gerda that Kai was not dead, and with that the fairy's spell was broken. Gerda escaped from the enchanted garden, and after walking for many miles, she found a raven. By now, Gerda was very hungry, so she was grateful when the kind raven gave her some bread. As Gerda ate, she told the raven all about the search for her friend. The raven listened carefully. Then he told Gerda about a princess and her quest to find a husband who was both clever and funny. The princess had found her perfect prince, and the raven believed that the prince might be Kai. Gerda was excited by the raven's news and went in search of the princess's palace. But when she arrived, she discovered that the prince the raven spoke about was not her dear friend after all. The prince and princess felt very sorry for Gerda, so they gave her some warm clothes and a fine carriage so that she could continue her search. Not long after Gerda left the palace, robbers spied her fancy carriage and attacked it. Luckily, a little robber girl took pity on Gerda, so the other robbers did not harm her and took her back to their hideout. There, the little robber girl kept wood pigeons and a reindeer tied up as pets. One night, while the little robber girl slept, the raven came to visit Gerda and spoke to the wood pigeons. Cooing quietly, they told the raven that the Snow Queen had taken Kai to Lapland. In the morning, Gerda told the little robber girl that the wood pigeons had said he had gone to Lapland. The little robber girl could see that Gerda was upset, so she agreed to free her and let her take the reindeer to ride on. It was a long journey to the Snow Queen's palace, and Gerda made 2 stops. The first was at a Lap lady's home. The Lap lady told Gerda that the Snow Queen had moved from her summer palace to Lapland, to her winter palace in Finnmark. The second stop was at a Finn woman's home. The Finn woman told the reindeer that the secret of Gerda's special power to save Kai from the Snow Queen was in her innocent child's heart. When Gerda reached the Snow Queen's palace, she was stopped by icy snowflakes that were guarding it. But when she said a prayer, her breath took the shape of angels who battled with the snowflakes so that she could enter the palace safely. Once inside, Gerda found Kai all alone on a frozen lake. Kai was completely still as he sat trying to solve a problem that the Snow Queen had set him. If Kai was able to form the word eternity from splintered pieces of ice, the Snow Queen had promised to release him from her power. Gerda was thrilled to see that her friend was alive. She ran up to Kai and kissed him, crying tears of happiness. As Gerda's warm tears fell on Kai, they melted his heart and burnt away the magic mirror's splinter inside. In an instant, everything changed. Able to feel once more, Kai began to cry too, and his tears dislodged the splinter from his eye. Kai was a healthy and happy boy.